Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are NC.
What a season. There have been so many ups and downs this year, it would be easy to lose count. At the moment, the Royals have turned a 7-game losing streak around and have won 8 of their last 10. A win today means another winning series. Game 3 with Seattle is next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium. The Royals continue to roll along. They have won 8 of their last 10, and with a victory tonight, they will take another series. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Ask yourself a couple of questions. First of all, how many times have you thought this year the Royals have figured it out and they're going to take this right to the top? And how many times have you thought to yourself, boy, this losing streak is just going to ruin the Royals season? Well, maybe over the past couple of weeks, you've asked yourself both of those questions because the Royals have taken a 7-game losing streak and they've turned that into winning 8 of 10. And what's helped them? Well, the same thing that's helped them all season. First of all, let's begin with pitching. And pitching with power lately. Some of the numbers familiar, but big strikeouts lately. 93 over the last 10 games. They've been running all year, but they've taken that to another level in the second half. 18 stolen bases. And, of course, it doesn't hurt to have more run support for that pitching. Let's welcome in Rex Hudler. It's been a ride for me trying to follow this team. People ask me all the time, what's going to happen? I say, I really have no idea what's going to happen every night. What do you think's going to happen tonight?
Ryan, I'm hoping, and like Ned's hoping, we're going to see a lot of what you just talked about. The consistency in the hitting, the pitching, and the defense. It's all been a blast to watch, especially when they do it in bunches. And speaking of bunches, Will Smith getting a bunch of punch-outs. You want defense, whether it's Moose's glove, Hosmer, or somebody else? How about Papa Hoach? Getting the job done, stepping up. Timely hits don't get any better than last night's hit off of Salvy's bat. Moose wants to get it to this guy. And when you get it to that guy, chances are it's over. He's been outstanding. Fun to watch. Tune in.
And as far as Salvador at the plate, we don't have to worry about a catcher fading in the month of September. He's just getting going, hitting over 400 with 5 home runs during the Royal streak.
plate, 7-game hitting streak, and just named the Royals Player of the Month for August, an honor he has now received 3 straight months. Joel Goldberg back here at Kauffman Stadium. Hosmer also had 3 walks yesterday, tying a career high, something he did already in the middle of August. And Ned Yost saying he is seeing the ball so well right now. He is locked in, and he's really been locked in since June. You look at the numbers before June 6th, 259 batting average, and you see up and down, including the home runs. He has really picked up his game, raised his batting average 40 points, raised his on-base percentage 40 points, raised his slugging percentage 120 points. And Rex talks about a bus driver. He is one of many for the Royals of late. Ryan Lefevre and Rex have the call of the game coming up next on Fox Sports Kansas City.
Ball is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Play Cadillac Rich's Scratchers game, and you could win a new Cadillac. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealer, the official vehicle of the Kansas City Royals. That's outside our production truck in the parking lot outside of Kauffman Stadium, and we are told that that barbecue is packed with ribs for a nice post-game spread.
You know, they do work, but when they don't, they're all over that barbecue.
Tonight's game is brought to you in high definition by Time Warner Cable, the official TV, internet, and home phone provider of the Kansas City Royals. Eric Wedge's team is in the middle of an 8-game road trip. They started 3-0, but now they've lost the last 3, and they have scored just 4 runs in their last 3 games. And here's his lineup tonight.
All right, let's see. A bunch of young guys in there again. And when you have a young team at this time of year in September, you're auditioning. So which one of these guys is going to step up? I don't know. Pick a guy. I'm going to say Ibanez and Morales, those 2 guys in the middle, those guys have a pretty good chance against Irvin, as they have faced him before. However, Irvin Santana, he can be really dangerous when he gets ahead of you. 2-seam fastballs. He's going to drop that slider that falls off the table. That's his finish pitch. Good changeup. He will go 4-seam fastballs up top a little bit, but mainly 2-seam fastballs, sliders, and changeups.
Brad Miller leads off for the 3rd straight game. He is one of those young guys who has never seen Irvin Santana. It's an interesting collection of hitters tonight. You have 5 hitters who have 18 or more at-bats against Santana, and you have 4 who have never faced him.
Well, if you've never faced him before, you better get to his fastball early, that one right there. As Miller just saw that, he kind of looked back. Because once he gets ahead of you 1 and 2, you know what's coming. And he'll throw that 70% of the time when he gets ahead of you like that.
That pitch stayed up, but Miller didn't put a very good swing on it, and Gerard Dyson makes the play in right center field. 1 down. Here are the Royals defensively defending behind Santana tonight.
Okay, you know, they're all good. Never gets old talking about it. They make plays and they save runs for starting pitching. But to see Eric Hosmer back in there, that's a beautiful thing. Nothing against Billy, but Hosmer, he's on his way to his first gold. I hope it happens. That blue glove will turn to gold. Hopefully sometime in October, maybe November, whenever those come out, fans can really get excited. But right now, Escobar, Moose, those guys that played on the left side of the infield diamond, they're excited to throw to Hosmer because he's really good.
There's a good slider. 0-2 on Franklin Gutierrez, who did not play on Monday. 1 for 4 last night with a run scored. He is in the middle of a 3 for 38 skid. 1-2. Royals took game 1 on Labor Day, 3-1 in an afternoon game. And then an exciting finish to the game last night. Royals winning 4-3, taking the lead and breaking a tie with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Another pop-up on a slider. And Hosmer, taller than Bonifacio, so he makes a play for the second out. Royals looked like they were going to cruise to a victory last night. They had a 3-0 lead. Bruce Chen scoreless through 5, and then Kyle Seager turned the game around in the 6th.
Tell you, just in his second full season this year, this guy, he's polished, especially his third base playing. But you know he can hit homers, and he can hit for a high average. He's one of their best players, no question. Works hard. Pays attention to detail. Some of their coaches said that they have a hard time keeping him off the field at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when he comes to the ballpark because he wants to work. Mainly on his base running. Things that may be a weak point for him. Wants to get him better.
And down to the count 0-2.
He's been ahead of every hitter so far, Irvin. Really smooth delivery.
Looped into shallow left field, and Moustakas with a good effort to try and get it. Seager takes a wide turn, and he'll hold with a single.
Seager, he'll take that. Ball went up, nothing you can do. Moose gave it a good effort. Seager took a nice big turn at first, though. He wasn't happy with just first. Moose made him go back.
And now Santana's former teammate, Kendrys Morales. So his first at bat in a regular season game against Santana. Probably faced him in the past in a spring training intra-squad game. 1 for 5, 3 strikeouts in the first 2 games. He did get a pinch hit late in the game last night.
Be kind of hard for Morales to face Santana when they're on the same team. That's what I said when we were going over their open. I said Morales has faced him before, and he actually hasn't. But Ibanez has. This guy, natural swinger from both sides of the plate. Powerful. One of the best Cuban hitters.
just outside, and now 3-0.
And 3-0, Irvin knows that he's got the green light. He's got 6 years in the big leagues this year. This is his 6th year. We talked about that nasty injury he had on the celebration of a home run when he jumped on home plate. All of his teammates who were around him shattered his ankle. Took 6 screws on a celebration dance. Almost ruined his career. Oh.
And he gets it past Hosmer and down into the corner. Seager to third. And they're going to wave him home. And the throw over Bonifacio, but Hosmer connects with Perez, and the Royals get him anyway.
David Lowe. He missed the first cutoff, man, but he got to Hosmer, who has a cannon. Great throw and tag.
Gordon, David Lowe to Eric Hosmer to Salvador Perez. Royals have won 8 of 10. They did not pick up any ground in the wild card last night, still 4.5 back. Needing to pass the Indians, Orioles, Yankees, and Rays. And the first 3 bunched up. Only 1 game separating the second, third, and fourth teams in the wild card race. Royals line up tonight against rookie right-hander Taijuan Walker.
Well, if this kid, Taijuan Walker, is anything like they're talking about, he's just making his second big league start, the Royals could be in trouble. However, you see the innings pitched in his first major league debut, only 5, about 70 pitches. They'll kind of keep an eye on him. If he can do that again, they'd be thrilled, especially the 0 earned runs. But he's got a fastball that he'll go from like 92 all the way to 98. And typically they've been saying he accelerates with the velocity later in the game. Nice curveball.
Nice easy motion.
He got a changeup, and he kind of cuts his fastball too to keep hitters off of his straight fastball. So it's a cutter.
1-2 on Alex, who swung at the first pitch thrown by Erasmo Ramirez last night and hit a home run to right field. His 12th career leadoff home run. That's the Royals record as he passes David DeJesus and Willie Wilson. Over the inside, fastball at 97. So his fastball was anywhere from 91 to 97, pitching to Alex. 1 away.
Okay, they like him. They say he might be the best athlete on the Seattle Mariners baseball team. So not only is he a high ceiling type of right-hander, but you can look at his build. 6'5", 215. He's a young rock star with a nice future.
Just 21 years old. and didn't seem to have too many jitters when he pitched on Saturday at Houston. We showed you his line as he retired the first 8. Bonifacio showing bunt. He's ahead in the count 2-0.
Tell you, when you are facing a guy like this, you know he's going to be a little bit wild because he's young. You got to sit on that fastball and go make him throw strikes. But when you do swing, stay short to the ball. You don't want to overswing. Ooh, if he gives him that pitch, Cedarstrom, Royals are going to be in trouble. That ball was up, and when you're throwing up in the zone at 95 and he's calling it a strike, you're not going to hit it. You might foul it back.
Little slug bunt, and Zunino, the catcher, will make the play. 2 up, 2 down.
All right, the defense, we're going to highlight the shortstop, Miller. It's pretty good. They like him. I don't think he's the kind of shortstop that might be their entire future of the team, but he's pretty solid. It depends on how he hits. Will depend on his playing time.
Oh, 0-1 on Eric Hosmer, who was a DH for the first time last night, and that didn't affect him at the plate. And you had mentioned that you're impressed because when a guy DHs, they feel like they have to do more at the plate because there's nothing they can do to help the team defensively, but he was patient enough to take 3 walks.
And especially when it's the first time you've DH'd all year. It's not like he's used to it.
Here's the curveball, and it's 1-2.
Okay, that's his pitch for success there. He's got the good fastball, we know that, but can he throw that curve for strikes consistently? That'll be the question. Nice streak he's got going, Haas.
Zunino didn't quite hold on to it. It's still 1-2. Hosmer is hit in 7 straight and was the Royals Player of the Month in August. It's the 3rd straight month he has been the Royals Player of the Month. Well, if the Interstate Batteries sign behind home plate was the target, he nailed it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In fact, he might have even hit the corner on the sign.
And thankfully the net is very secure, because he just airmailed this one. Not a glove or anything on it. And Gary Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire, he ducked. So there's some wildness in this young stallion.
.96 miles an hour, so he gets the Royals in order and strikes out 2. Tonight, every Wednesday home game, there's one more after tonight. You get a limited edition Gordo Nation t-shirt, a seat in the field box or plaza sections in left field to cheer on Alex Gordon. And the last one is September 18th against the Cleveland Indians. You can get those tickets at Royals.com/Gordo Nation. Raul Ibanez, 2 hits last night. He did not play on Monday afternoon. 32 career at-bats against Irvin Santana.
Ryan, is there a better Major League Baseball player that you've met, a better human being than this guy here?
He would be in my top 3 easily.
Okay, just checking.
Just a wonderful human being.
Oh, fresh. Energy, nothing but a smile, a kind word to say when he sees you. He's got a little Mike Sweeney in him, too.
Mm-hmm. Got to be another top 3.
Okay. I'm going to go Sean Casey, even though, not a lot of people know him.
Ooh. Jammed him, but Bonifacio has to run to the middle and gets a stretch from Hosmer for the out.
Yes, a chance for Bonifacio to make a nice play there to that backhand. Irvin Santana, typically a fly ball pitcher, though, he'll take this play. Bonifacio getting on top of that. Got him.
I say things like that all the time. He's a top 3 guy. He's a top 5 guy, but never really thought about who those guys were. Joe McEwing. Now, he was with the Royals for 1 year.
Super Joe.
Yep. Joe Randa.
Great guy, Joe Randa. You know what, Ryan? He was a good hard ball player, too. I liked him as a player, and you don't know guys. But if I'd have known what a nice guy he was off the field, I might not have dropped the gate on him a couple times like I did when we competed.
Fouled away by Justin Smoke, and Santana, with the exception of 1 hitter, has been a strike machine. He has thrown strike 1 now to 5 of the 6 hitters he has faced. So he's been either 0-2 or 1-2 to 5 of the 6. Salvador Perez, even though that pitch wasn't a strike, that's right where he wanted it, pointing his glove out at Santana, saying, "That away, that's right where he wanted that pitch." And now wanting a changeup, and it's pulled foul, hit hard by Smoke. Still 1-2. On the topic of Sal, he is a subject of our league leaders. Last 10 games, the Royals have won 8. And Salvador Perez, where he is ranked in the major leagues, first in home runs, RBIs, and slugging percentage.
My goodness, there's a lot of Royals hitters that are licensed to drive the bus. And Salvi right now, last 10, really, that's all opposing managers look at. Smoke, he's trying to hook that pole. Getting closer. Managers, opposing managers, Ned Yost, those guys, they look for the last 10 games, 5 games. They want to know how hot the guy is now. They don't really care about the overall numbers, although they do look at those. And baseball's a numbers game. Eric Wedge, he wants to know who's been the hot guys recently, because you want to try to stay out of their hot zone.
Well, he hits it hard again, this time right center field. Dyson into a dive, and he made the play. Landed kind of heavy on his knee, but he picks up Santana, and that's the second out.
For a minute, I thought it was going to fall in there. Dyson took charge, though. Center fielder, he's the quarterback of the whole field. He's got priority. He can take and call any ball, and usually the corners will yield to him. Thank you.
Center fielder has priority over everybody.
All of them. Infielders, corner outfielders, because he can see it all. He's at top and really the easiest play is the one coming in, and you instead of going back for the infielders. And it's fun. Ryan, you played some center field. You know, you get to see everything in front. I tried to stay on one or the other side of the pitcher so I could see the ball cross the plate. You know, it's important that you be able to see contact, you know, and you can get a jump.
It's kind of like being second to the catcher in that all the infielders and corner outfielders, they can somewhat see where the catcher is setting up, but a center fielder basically has the view that we give you when the pitch comes in right behind home plate. Irvin gets the Mariners 1-2-3 as he gets Dustin Ackley on a ground ball to Hosmer to the bottom of the second with no score. Another gorgeous day in Kansas City. Cool temperatures compared to what we're used to this time of year. Just been a wonderful summer.
No question.
In more ways than one. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one on this beautiful night, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Well, Billy was a great candidate last year against Seattle. He had .464 against the Mariners. 2 home runs, 7 RBIs in just 8 games. He has driven in a run in this series. Here's Walker's cut fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Okay, if you like gasolina, petrol, cheese, whatever, there's a lot of different words for a fastball like this kid Walker's bringing, then belly up to the plate because he's going to give you a bunch of them. His curveball there was up in the zone. That's called a hanging hook. You can hit those out of the yard, especially if you're geared up for 97.
And that'll land out of play. Still 1-2. This is a really nice controlled motion. I mean, you never know what's going on inside of a guy, and Irvin Santana is a perfect example of that. At least on the outside, everything seems so calm and under control. But Walker, at least with his pitching motion, as we love to say about guys, stays within himself.
And there's, you know, when you have a controlled delivery, there's not a lot of room to fall out of it. And then you always hear the term repeat your delivery. Looks like he's doing that so far.
High fastball is hit in the air. Shallow right center. And coming up for it is Gutierrez for out number 1.
But you know, it's nice for some people that are around the league to hear kid's got nice poise, mountain presence, good athlete. You know, he's got a good chance when you hear people say those things about him. And he's young, second start.
Moustakas hits it hard, and Smoke will go to the bag unassisted. Moustakas helped set up the winning run last night when he reached on what looked like a single and then misplayed in center field by Almonte, but Moustakas was running hard. He turned it into a double, and this man right here, Salvador Perez, drove him in.
And the great thing about that scamper into second base was Moose, who had been nursing a sore calf, showed no sign of limping or any kind of pain or anything. That was really fresh to see. Moose is good. And I'm sure that's the reason that Ned Yost left him in, because I thought he would be pinch running for him at that time of the game. But Moose was able to get a good secondary lead and score that run to get Holland in.
And Ned pointed out after the game that he was thinking the same thing. He had Pedro Siriaco, who was just called up from Omaha, ready to go to run for Moustakas, especially if it was just going to be a single. But it turned out to be a double, and just by watching Moustakas run to second base, Ned said, well, if he's going to run like that, I'm going to leave him out there.
Yeah, exactly. And then Salvi picked him right up there, stayed right on the ball, looking for a lousy single, and got it.
Three-hit game for Sal last night. Also hit his 10th home run, one shy of his career high. And he really beat up the Mariners last year. He hit .398 against them. And he will walk with two down. Day game tomorrow against Seattle, wrapping up this series, and then the first place Tigers are in town over the weekend, and the last Buck night of the season will be Friday. So bring a handful of dollar bills, as hot dogs, peanuts, and small Pepsi products are just $1. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets to the Royals and the Tigers here at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals have 6 more with Detroit and 6 more with Cleveland. David Lowe, 1 for 7 in the series, and picked up an outfield assist in the top of the first inning as the Royals gunned down Kyle Seager at the plate to end the inning. And now Zunino is a little concerned. After that first pitch, he motioned out to Walker to try and get him to get on top of the ball and get the ball down, and now 2 straight that are up. He's going to go out there and just say it to him in person.
Yeah, well, he's been borderline up from the first inning, even in the first.
Eric Wedge, former Wichita State star. He is from the state of Indiana, but played his college days for Gene Stevenson and the Shockers. Popped up. Miller tiptoes onto the outfield grass and brings it down. That's the inning. Perez walks with 2 outs. That's it. And at the end of 2, no score. which call-up will help the most? Here are position players. Pedro Siriaco, who has major league experience. He is an infielder, also can play the outfield. Brett Hayes, a third catcher, Johnny Giavotella, or Carlos Pena, who came on late defensively last night.
That's my pick.
You circled D.
Correct?
I
did.
Broken bat and a base hit for Zunino.
The reason I picked Carlos Pena is because he has a chance with one swing of the bat to put 1, 2, or 3 runs up, maybe 4. You never know. He's got power. Ned's going to put him in there to pinch hit, and he's going to make a difference in 1 or 2 games. And you know, sometimes that's the difference between a postseason berth or not. That's why I chose Pena, and I'll go with it now since we're on. Like the other guys, like the bullpen help, all that's important to shore up the depth that you can go to when you need it.
Ball 1 to Nick Franklin. Carlos Pena had perhaps the best game of his major league career here. It was, gosh, 9 years ago now. He was playing for the Tigers. He went 6 for 6 with 2 home runs. That was a tough day for the Royals. Not only did Pena do that, and Tigers, they had 27 hits that game, beating up on the Royals. We found out after the game that Carlos Beltran had been traded away to the Houston Astros.
You know, he gives effort. I mean, the Royals have seen this guy during his career. Oh.
Long run, David Lowe, and it's going to drop on the warning track and bounce high off the wall. Zunino will be held at third. Franklin has a double. Second and third, nobody out.
Yeah, Franklin jumped on that Santana offering right down the middle of the plate. Tough sky right now, too, for an outfielder. Twilight, same color as the baseball. So when you're tracking it, it's not easy. Got to have if you take your eye off it, you might lose it. Sit over his head. So with nobody out, second and third, Irvin's got some issues here he's going to have to try to work through. He has strikeout ability, 143 and 182.
Mariners have really struggled in this series with runners in scoring position. 1 for 20 in the first 2 games of the series. A little bit outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Seattle, after coming back last night, they had been down 3-0, and they tied the game in the 7th inning. The man at the plate right now, Brad Miller, tied the game. The next inning, they had runners at second and third and 1 out. So they had a good chance to take the lead, and that's when Luke Hochevar came out of the bullpen. Got a strikeout of Zunino and got Andy Chavez to fly to center field. Then the Royals regained the lead in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Tell you what, Hochevar, man, he's a different animal coming out of that bullpen. He's very confident. Got some good weapons.
Blocked by Sal. 3-1.
Gary Cedarstrom, crew chief of these 4 umpires here that are here at the K. He's a home plate umpire in his 20th year. Just handed Irvin that ball right to his hand as he went to cover home. If you got anything you want to say, that's the time to say it.
In the air to right center. That will get 1 run home as Dyson brings it down. Both runners will tag. Zunino scores. Franklin goes to third. So Seattle takes a 1-0 lead on the sacrifice fly from Brad Miller.
And the tag up by Nick Franklin, that's going to help him stay in another scoring opportunity.
And now Santana will get Franklin Gutierrez. He popped out to Hosmer in the first inning. Royals will bring the infield in all the way in some parts and halfway in others. It is a very custom made infield alignment. You got Bonifacio all the way in, and then Moustakas, Escobar, and Hosmer halfway in.
The reason they're back on the left side is gives them more range.
1-1.
But they still have the ability to get something right at him and throw the guy out at home.
Perez blocks it enough to keep Franklin at third base.
Rarely do you see a ball get that far away from home plate with Salvi, but 2 in 1 inning here.
I've always felt that's the hardest ball for a runner at third base to read because it's in line with the third baseline. Now, you and I up here, we're behind home plate. We can see the distance. Here's another angle. We can see how far the ball got from home plate. But the runner at third, he can't see the depth.
And you have a split second to make up your mind.
Now, if that ball went to the third base side of home plate, Franklin would have seen how far away it was from home. Good pitch. Gutierrez swings over it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's that 2-seam runner underneath the bat.
Started, no swing. Angel Hernandez is the first base umpire, 3-2.
Franklin Gutierrez 9 for 44 lifetime with 12 punch outs
against Santana.
Right, and looking for 13 coming. Irvin is. What's he going to throw him, 3-2? I don't know. Maybe that 2-seamer. Salvi puts down a bunch of numbers.
Late swing, and he got it inside the bag and will drive in a run. So he was fooled, but he avoided the strikeout and was rewarded with a excuse me single in between Hosmer and the line.
Hitters love the doinkers, but they love these even more. That was like, well, it's an emergency hack, and hallelujah, I'm living right. Perfect placement. Irvin only gave up 2 runs in his last start. Maybe he'll hold them there the rest of the way. And if I remember, he gave those up early as well.
Gave up 2 in the first inning, and one of those runs was unearned.
Yeah, I was just seeing 2 earned runs here. So, but he gave up 3 total.
There's that tricky sky that is as much gray as it is blue, so it blends in with a rubbed up baseball as Gutierrez runs, and he is out at second base. Escobar brings down a high throw and makes a quick tag.
19th base runner this year Salvi's thrown out. That's second in the American League. 1 behind Wieters in Baltimore, who had 20 coming into tonight. Look at that. Man, great call. Just got him a split second before he hit the bag.
So that means Seager, who has been the Mariners' most dangerous hitter, and he has 6 hits in this series. He bats with nobody on. Single to left and was thrown out at the plate in the first inning after Morales doubled up the right field line. David Lowe connecting with Eric Hosmer, who connected with Salvador Perez to gun down Seager for the final out. Below the knees, ball 4.
Okay, they're working Irvin's pitch count now.
So here's Morales facing Santana, his teammate with the Angels for the first time, and doubled up the right field line. And a changeup is outside for ball 1. Mariners have had 6 runners already, and that includes a 1-2-3 inning. And now 2-0 on Morales. Seattle got 2 hits in the first, and then Santana retired the side in the second inning, and now 3 hits and a walk allowed in the third. And the Mariners have scored 2.
All right, let's go back to the first inning. Morales doubles down the line. Lowe missed the first cutoff man, but he bounced one to Hosmer. Hosmer threw a perfect ball to Salvi. Made the play. Well, it's 3-0.
And Hosmer will play that right at the bag to end the inning. Mariners take a 2-0 lead with RBIs from Miller and Gutierrez. For 19 years, Alan Meyer was a board member for the Grandview C4 School Board and served in many roles, including president. Known for his compassion, Alan was always the first to volunteer for philanthropic efforts in southern Kansas City and, through his own efforts, convince other members and friends to get involved as well. Sitting in the Buck O'Neill legacy seat at tonight's game. So Taijuan Walker has a 2-0 lead as he pitches to Gerard Dyson. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dyson has hit in 5 straight. 1 for 2 in game 1, 1 for 2 last night.
He likes to bunt.
And to left field, Raul Ibanez brings it down. And we go to Joel Goldberg.
Well, Ryan, we've seen a lot of players this year that participated or were in the Futures game here at Kauffman Stadium last year. Bruce Rondon, Zach Wheeler, Manny Machado, Will Myers, Christian Yelich, and yes, Taijuan Walker. And his nickname, HUD was talking about his athleticism. His nickname in high school was Skywalker because of his 360 dunks that he could do on the basketball court. Great athlete. Talking to their GM, Jack Zarenzik, he was surprised that he's made it through the system this quickly. And the one thing I noticed, and I know Ryan noticed it too in looking up his bio, is he went to Yucaipa High School in California, and that rang, I'm sure, the same bell for Ryan as it did me, because that is the high school we know where Mark Teahan, the former Royal, went to school. And HUD, you weren't here for Teahan, but he's got one of the great dry senses of humor. So when I sent a message last night about Yucaipa, he said, Yucaipa turns him out. Lots of kids in that town knew they could live the dream after watching me. Mark Teahan in the minor leagues, hasn't been back up to the big leagues till 2011, but I did share with him, just for the sake of Ryan being able to retell the story, that as long as the Royals hitters had some of Grandma's ash bats, all would be well. You could fill the rest in.
Oh, boy. That is pulled just foul. Well, there was a few years ago when everyone seemed to be using maple bats, and the bats were breaking in half, and it was dangerous. I mean, they were going in the stands,
right.
And Major League Baseball realized they have a problem. I mean, they're losing a lot of bats, costing them a lot of money, and they're dangerous, so they did these studies. And we all knew that ash bats would crack.
Splinter.
Yeah. So, anyway, we were talking about it on the air, and Mark Teahan's grandmother, who lives back in California and has the exact same sense of humor that Mark has, in her hometown, there were ash trees all over, and she was willing to donate some of those bats to Major League Baseball. As Escobar is thrown out, 2 down.
Really?
And the only condition she had was that the bats would be known as Grandma's Ash.
That's beautiful.
Which explains Mark Teahan's sense of humor in a nutshell.
The apple does not fall far from the ash tree.
Boy, that's right.
And one of my favorites.
That's beautiful.
Let's go to the digital Big Blue Book of Knowledge. His grandmother in Glendora, California. Beautiful streets lined with ash. Hit hard right to the second baseman, Franklin. Quick inning for Walker, pitching with a 2-0 lead as he gets Dyson, Escobar, and Gordon. There we go, Mark Teahan with grandmother's ash.
No splinter there.
up here at Kauffman Stadium, and that is on Saturday. That benefits Ducks Unlimited. You can visit with the Heartland Bowhunter TV and the Heartland Waterfowl TV teams in the Outfield Experience and catch their shows on the Outdoor Channel. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday nights. But hunting and fishing night is this Saturday night. Go to Royals.com for tickets as Ibanez hits it into the right field corner. It stays in, a fair ball. And Raul Ibanez with the count 0-2, doubles.
Quick hands there on the inner half. He waited. Ball hit right down there below the foul pole. What kind of inside fastball? Quick stroke.
So 6 hits for the Mariners in 3 innings and 1 batter. Now Justin Smoke lost a hit on a sliding play by Dyson. He takes ball 1. Urban is without a strikeout so far, so he hasn't been able to get the Mariners to chase his slider. He's thrown a few sliders that have stayed up that the Mariners have made outs with, so he hasn't found the bite yet.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that good hard drop-off slider. But you know, whenever you don't have your best stuff, you still find a way. A veteran like Irvin can figure that out. He's got a changeup, his two-seamer seems to have some good bite down to it. And he'll have to try to get it to work. Changeup there was up, 3-0. And some unusual body language for Irvin. Might be a little frustrated. Same type of body language a hitter will show you when he's frustrated. He'll step out of the box, shake his head a little.
4-pitch walk. 2 walks, no strikeouts for Santana. So not typical of what Dave Island and Ned Yost have been accustomed to seeing so far this year. And Urban's been around for a long time, so he knows how to get out of this. Salvador Perez is going to go out there and talk things over with Santana.
Yeah, he was ahead of hitters that first inning. Doing really well. Staying ahead of him. Second inning, 1, 2, 3. And then the third is where it started getting to him a little bit.
He was at one point 1 ball and 2 strikes with 5 of the first 6 hitters. Now 2 on, nobody out to Ackley. And he grounds it up the middle. Bonifacio, Escobar 1. Escobar, Hosmer, not in time. But Bonifacio, first of all, keeps the ball out of the outfield. And second of all, gets an out. And there's still a chance for a ground ball and a double play.
Yeah, excellent play there. Way to stretch it out. Saved a run. Hit hard. Great little backhand stop. He couldn't quite get it the way he wanted to him quick enough, but Ackley runs well. There's no way you're going to double him up, even if you get it out of your glove quicker. 1 for sure is what you want.
And now Zunino, who had a broken bat single leading off to third and came around to score. Mariners have had 8 base runners.
The Royals have had just 1 on a walk. And they haven't gotten a hit yet either. The kid, Taiwan Walker, is dealing.
2-0. Well, Wade Davis already warming up in the bullpen. One of the advantages of September in the expanded rosters. And the Royals feel like they need to win every night. So if they identify early in this game that it's not going to be Irvin's night, get a fresh arm in there sooner rather than later.
Got that right.
Three and one.
Yeah, this is not a September for auditions and letting guys play it out.
There have been only 2 starts all year where Irvin Santana hasn't gone at least 6 innings. It's remarkable. 25 of his 27 starts before tonight, he has gone at least 6 innings.
I love that consistency.
Ackley runs, and that, I believe, is ball 4. It is. So the fans will be disappointed. Was timeout called? That's the question. Was timeout called? I think Ackley should be out. Ackley left the bag. Ned Yost is going to come out and argue, and he should. I did not see an umpire call timeout. So Ackley reacted to the crowd.
And he stepped off
left
the bag.
Well, whatever Gary Cedarstrom said, that was good enough for Ned Yost. But Ackley knew he was out. He did not realize it was ball 4. And so he started to leave the bag, and heads up, Bonifacio tagged him out. Or tagged him. It's not an out.
I didn't see Cedarstrom even say ball 4.
Okay. The umpire even called him out.
Okay. And there he tagged him. He re-tagged him.
So they're loaded with 1 out for the number 9 hitter, Nick Franklin. But that number 9 hitter doubled and scored last inning. And Santana jumps ahead 0-1.
Well, Cedarstrom, it's not really a signal for ball 4 as an umpire, is there? Like, what do you put your hands in the air?
Usually when umpires put their arms in the air, dead ball, timeout.
Yeah.
I don't know why there would have been a dead ball there, however. I mean, it's...
I think that they got away with an out there. The Mariners did. Because when you come off that bag and there's no time called, you vacate the bag and get tagged, you're out. It's ball 4.
Two and one.
Okay, say it's ball 4. All right. The throw comes down. Okay, the umpire at second base, he doesn't know.
There you go.
Okay, there he's saying foul ball.
Or dead timeout,
Yeah.
no foul ball.
Okay.
And then he was all over it as Bonifacio made the tag. Cedarstrom was saying no. Franklin comes through with another hit. Seattle leads 3-0 as Ibanez comes in to score. So it was the right call by the umpiring crew.
Yeah, we had to get the right camera on it so we could see it.
And Ned Yost has declared that tonight is not Irvin Santana's night and that he is not going to find it after having surrendered 9 base runners in 3 1/3 innings. And with the bases loaded and 1 out and a run home, we're going to have a Chevy call to the bullpen, and Wade Davis will take over. Yes, bases loaded, one out as he comes in out of the bullpen after starting all year for the Royals. Here are the numbers from his last 3 seasons, including this year. And if you look at the middle year, 2012, all 54 of those games were out of the bullpen for Tampa Bay. 2.43 ERA and a strikeout to walk ratio of 87-29. And that's where it appears he will finish up with the Royals this year out of the bullpen.
Okay, whatever you can, keep your team in it right here. Pound the strike zone, go at it, stay down low. He's got a nice little fastball, he'll work. 93, maybe we see some 94s. He's got a cutter, big curveball, and that's his finish-off pitch. Occasional changeups.
Brad Miller drove in a run with a sac fly last inning. That was to center field, and he's also flied out to center field in the first. He has driven in 3 in the series. And it skips away from Sal and rolls a long way away from home plate. The Mariners will get just 1 run on a wild pitch as Ackley comes in to score. Zunino advances to third and Franklin up to second.
Okay, there's that big curveball, and it got away. There's not much you can do because you don't know where it's going to bounce. Salvi tried to position his body in the right place, and it went under the wickets.
And now the Royals are forced to bring the infield in. And it's grounded to Bonifacio. So no advance. Miller is out. 2 down. If we can, Doc Carruthers, our longtime stage manager and astute observer, pointed out why timeout had been called on that play at second base. And there he is. Hi, Doc. And his call was a good one, that home plate umpire Gary Cedarstrom recognized that Kerwin Danley did not know that it was ball 4.
So he banged him.
So that was to protect his guy. That's why he called timeout. Otherwise, there was no reason to call timeout. But he understood that Kerwin Danley was not aware of what happened behind him because his job was to see what happened at second base.
That's right. We saw it all. Thanks, Doc, for helping us out there. But when Ned came out to argue to Cedarstrom, home plate umpire, Cedarstrom said, hey, I called timeout. He's not out.
And he probably said, I called timeout because my guy down there had his back to the play and I needed to protect him. Which in turn protects Dustin Ackley because he goes sliding into second base. He sees the umpire ring him up. Right. When the umpire rings you up, you're out.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So a good job by a 20-year veteran and crew chief.
That's a funky looking mask helmet he's got.
2-1 on Gutierrez.
You would think that protection, now that's got those shock absorbers on the side too. You see those things right there? Those go in. Well, you can take that mask and you can push it, and it's a shock absorber. They're trying everything. Try to stay away from concussions.
And lined into center field, Dyson is there to make the play. He was playing shallow, and that was the spot to be in as he saved a run, maybe 2. But Seattle gets 2 more, and they lead 4-0. Royals come up in the bottom of the fourth. Hey, bring the kids out. Every Sunday is a family fun day Sunday. And the kids enjoy face painters, balloon artists, kids entertainment by Radio Disney's Road Crew, and much more. Sundays at your ballpark is your family destination. Royals.com/Sunday for tickets. So this Sunday against Detroit. And then the final Family Fun Day Sunday is September 22nd. That's the final home game of the year against the Texas Rangers.
All right. Come on out.
Bonifacio leads off against Taijuan Walker. Royals have walked in 3 innings, and that's it. Salvador Perez with 2 outs in the second, the only runner so far. And now 2-0. Bonifacio tried to bunt, a fake bunt and slash in the first inning, and ended up fouling out to the catcher Zunino. (3-0).
Okay, now it's been quite a half inning, especially for this cook too. He's trying to get it right.
That is Curtis Wilson, who is a producer for Mariners television. There's ball 4. Now you can understand why Curtis is taking such special care. This is a Seattle guy cooking barbecue for a bunch of Kansas Cityans.
What's up with that?
I mean, could you imagine us in Seattle and we're working on some salmon for the Mariners guys in the parking lot, right? So, I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, his reputation is on the line here.
Yeah, he's very observant of those babies.
You know, we love our barbecue, but we can be a bit snobbish about our barbecue. It happens all the time on the road. We'll go out to eat as a group, and let's say we're in Cleveland, right? What are the specials tonight? Well, we have a brisket sandwich. And we all kind of, oh, that's cute. That's true. What else do you have?
We don't want
Well,
it.
we have some baby back ribs. Oh, I'll bet you do.
Yeah.
Isn't that sweet? They make baby back ribs. What else do you have?
That's right.
So
Don't want it.
Hosmer struck out, swinging at a fastball in the first inning. Walker is struck out 2, walked 2, and that's blasted to right field. Gutierrez will play it on a bounce. Bonifacio goes first to third, and Hosmer has the Royals' first hit, and the Royals have runners at first and third with nobody out.
All right. That's a nice start. You throw a lot of fastballs to big league hitters, they're going to hit square up one of them to get it started. And you know what happens usually when one guy squares one up, and what we witnessed from the Royals offense this year, it's been hot and cold a lot, is that they frenzy hit. Hopefully for Royals fans, that's what they do right now. Plenty of ball game left.
Billy flied to right in the second inning. And a cutter that didn't do much. It just kind of spun up and out of the strike zone. Ball 1 on Billy. Royals they're working on trying to duplicate something they have done so many times this year when they have played well, and that is answer when the opponent scores. I've seen it so many times. Team gets a couple of runs in one inning, the Royals come back right away. And Seattle, with Walker on the mound, was probably feeling pretty good when they got 2 more in the fourth and had a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of these Mariners are young players. All it takes is a couple veterans.
Grounded through the left side, and the Royals are on the board.
A couple veterans to say, hey, look, guys, let's not get too happy because this Royals team is in the hunt. They're in the hunt for a reason. They're good. This is a well-rounded team. And here we go. Hosmer gets the hit. Billy follows up with a nice topspin two-hopper through the infield. And the Royals do know about the comeback wins.
Only the Rangers have more come from behind wins. Royals, by the way, already have 9 more come from behind wins than they did last year. And we still have 24 more games to go. So this is what happens when you have a 21-year-old pitcher on the mound making just his second major league start. Veteran pitching coach is going to go out there and make sure this inning doesn't get away from him. If that was Felix Hernandez, there would be no visit at the mound.
Nope, you're right. Second major league start. There's a lot to learn.
Moustakas hit one right on the screws in the second inning, but grounded out to Smoke at first base. Fastball, 0-1.
Looked like Moose was out in front of that at 90. He was geared up for the big one at 97. He was ahead of it. But I like his thinking. He's wanting to jump on one. Don't have to swing hard with a guy with that kind of velocity, but you got to see him down.
And back with 96. 0-2. Now, what do you think he's going to throw here?
You know, I would try a high fastball.
Because when you played, if a hitter took a swing like that on a fastball, that hitter might see 2 or 3 more of those, right?
Exactly. So I'm gonna say he throws him a high fastball. They're not coming in. Ow! I thought that hit him. Ooh, that would have hurt.
I've heard so many old school players, coaches, managers, whatever, that frustrates them that then a pitcher might come back with something off speed or something with a wrinkle in it. Curveball, and Moustakas out in front, and that hit Rusty Kuntz in the back.
Don't rub it. I don't think he could rub it. Hit him right between the blades.
What a ray of light he is, Rusty Kuntz, to be around him every day.
Okay, watch this. It ricochets off. He never sees it. He never lost his coaching. Ooh.
Right center field, but he hit it down around the end of the bat. Catch is made by Gutierrez, and Hosmer will tag up. So it's a productive out. Moustakas gets Hosmer to third with less than 2 outs. 1 away. And I don't think Moustakas is thinking much about a productive out. I think he was thinking about putting that ball in the fountains.
Yes, he was.
Salvador walked in the second inning. He had the game-winning hit for the Royals with 2 outs in the 8th inning last night. Royals winning 4-3, and now bats with Hosmer at third and Butler at first.
A handsy hitter here. Good chance against a hard fastball. Yeah, just throw your hands at the ball. Salvio hit it anywhere from the right field line to the left field line.
Breaking ball hung, and Sal lines it to Ibanez, so the Royals will get a second run. So that fly ball by Moustakas helps set up the sacrifice fly, and now it's 4-2.
A nice reaction on the hanger there. When a hitter sees a hanging breaking ball, he's a little bit out front, so his hands got to stay back for just a click. And then you just throw the head in your hands just like he did. Beautiful touch there. You don't have to overswing at all on the hanger. You just catch it underneath and it gets some backspin. Almost went over the left fielder Gutierrez's head.
Strike one to David Lowe. Popped to short in the second inning.
Excuse me, that's Ibanez in left. Gutierrez is in right.
And that pops out of Zunino's glove, but Billy Butler, who had almost no lead when that pitch was thrown, he decided it wasn't worth the gamble.
Yep. I believe he thought about it, but if you're not 100% sure with 2 outs, there's no need to try it. You stay right there.
Two and one on Lowe.
You don't want to get thrown out with David Lowe hitting with 2 outs.
Cracked his bat, but he hits it up the right field line and fair. Lowe heads for second. He is in with a double. Billy Butler goes to third.
Yep. Now, he didn't knock Billy Butler in, but he does hit .425 with 2 outs. Inside pitch, he loves those. Now, that got in on his hands a little bit. It took his bat, but the bat died a hero. Nice placement. Keeping a productive inning alive.
So Dyson with 2 in scoring position. He carried a 5-game hitting streak into the game tonight. Out on a fly ball to left in the third inning. At the knees for strike one. And now the Mariners are busy in the bullpen. Oliver Perez just starting to heat up. Oh, and 2. Royals announced before the game tonight that Lorenzo Cain is off of the disabled list. So not in the lineup tonight, but he is no longer on the shelf. Ready to go.
Good.
Out with a rib cage strain, an oblique strain. Up the middle, behind the bag, into center field, and the Royals score 4 to tie the game.
Show them just a little bit of light and they'll take advantage of it. Nice piece of hit and staying on top of the ball. You get top spin on it, that second hop, I guarantee you it's going to get through. Look at that. Perfect placement. Good thing Billy Butler didn't try to go on that pass ball to second base. If he got thrown out, they would have missed 2 runs. So that ended up being a smart move from Billy. Dyson says, yeah, it's nice to get a couple of ribbies and keep my hitting streak intact.
So he's hit in 6 straight, and we were just talking about this. When the Royals have been on their good runs this year, this is what they do. They score right after the opponent scores. Seattle got 2 in the third, 2 in the top half of this inning, and the Royals tie it in the bottom half of the inning. And the Mariners are well aware of what Dyson is trying to do here. 29 stolen bases, 1 shy of his career high.
The kid, Taijuan Walker's got quick feet.
Running, pitches up, and Dyson slides by the bag. He was safe, and then he slid too hard, and heads up by Miller to keep his tag on Dyson. So he is out to end the inning. But the Royals come up with 4. Butler, Perez, and Dyson driving him in.
thought that the Rangers and A's may go down to the final day of the season. Oakland pulls into a first-place tie. Coco Crisp goes deep. And Yu Darvish, 5 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 walks. How about this stat, guys, on Coco Crisp? Now has 18 home runs, 8 of them since August 21st. Wow. So he is absolutely on fire. Did want to tell you guys and pass along, as far as Irvin Santana goes, no strikeouts for him in this game. And in his career, 261st career start for Irvin, and only the 5th time that he has never allowed a strikeout. Now, 3 of those games, he pitched less than 2 innings. The only one where he pitched a lot was back in 2007, 5 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, and 2 homers, no strikeouts against the Kansas City Royals.
All right, thanks, Joel. Well, it did look odd, even when Santana hasn't been at his best this year, which has been a very few times. He always seems to have at least a few strikeouts.
Yeah, it's easy to give a guy like that a pass because the game's not that easy. He makes it look easy. He never sweats. And, he looks so good early. He's getting ahead of guys, and then all of a sudden he lost his command.
And now the offense has given him a pass by tying the game, so he's no longer the pitcher of record.
Nah, that's only right. Wade Davis now, he has a chance.
On the ground to Escobar. He will backhand. And Seager is out for the first time. Well, if you want to come out to the ballpark, don't forget to take advantage of the 4 for $44 deal from the Royals and Taco Bell. You get 4 tickets to the game, 4 special edition Royals hats, and 4 Taco Bell Doritos Locos Taco Supreme coupons, all for $44 plus tax. And this package is good for any Royals home game while supplies last. You can get your tickets at the Kauffman Stadium box office or by going to Royals.com/Taco Bell. Morales cracked his bat, and Bonifacio will take care of him. 2 down. So Davis has faced 4 and retired 4 since picking up for Santana last inning. And now gets Raul Ibanez with 2 outs and nobody on. First relief appearance of the year for Wade Davis. Fastball at 96.
Well, Wade Davis has got a lot in the tank, especially since having not pitched since August 31st. And he's not going to have long stints as a reliever, although he could go 2 or 3 innings. So he can go ahead and max out. And that's what makes him so good out of that bullpen. That's what his success was in Tampa Bay, because he could go high octane and pitch inside, knock guys off the plate, good cutter, breaking ball. Oof. All of a sudden, you can tell by his execution and his arm swing, his nice delivery. He says, "This is my game."
Hit well to center. Dyson gets turned around, still running, and it sails over his head and up against the padded wall. That is the second double of the game for Raul Ibanez.
Challenged him. He's only hit 1 home run, Ibanez, since the All-Star break, but he's still got quick hands. He can catch that. Look at that. That's a ball over the plate at 95. If there's any sign of age, it didn't show in that swing. Second double of the night, dead center.
Oh, Ned Yost, he's playing with a full deck, so they're going to make Justin Smoak bat right-handed, which is clearly his weakest side of the plate, by bringing in lefty Francisco Bueno and a Chevy call to the bullpen. year, 19 home runs last year, but he is a completely different hitter when he has to bat right-handed. So a good time to bring in Francisco Bueno. Last appearance for the Royals was back on August 9th, and he got the win. Last year, Bueno got his first major league win against the Red Sox. So here's Smoke. As a left-hand batter, he has flied to center and walked. As a right-hand batter this year, he is hitting 172. So 114 points fewer than the other side of the plate.
Trying too hard. Francisco, he's got a nice fastball, slider, curve. 3-pitch combination. Wants to come in and press. Throw strikes. Smoke's just hitting 209 with runners in scoring position.
Grounds it to Moustakas. So Bueno throws 2 pitches. He gets the final out of the 5th inning. The Ibanez double doesn't hurt the Royals. We are tied at 4. Rewind and a Royals 4-run bottom of the 4th.
Tell you what, that's a beautiful thing. Way to answer. Mariners jumped out 4-0. Billy Butler didn't go. It turned out being a good thing because Lowe got him over to third base and he got into second base, and Dyson with a nice little topper through the infield. Scored 2. That gave him 4. That's where we are, tied up.
Seattle had scored 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. So Taijuan Walker, making his second major league start, had a 4-0 lead when that inning began. He got Escobar on a ground ball to short in the 3rd inning. Escobar, Gordon, Bonifacio to hit for the Royals. Off the end of the bat, and Ackley, former second baseman, makes the play. 1 down in the 5th. So first time through, and they'd never faced Walker before. Walker had his way, and then the Royals adjusted second time through.
And really, he's right where he was for his major league debut. 5 innings pitched, 70 pitches thrown. Probably let him get through this inning. They've had some action up in the pin the last couple of innings.
Strike to Alex. 0 for 2. He had a shot for an out on a ground ball to second last time. And his start tonight, similar in one sense to his first start. Walker, now he only gave up one unearned run on Sunday at Houston, but he got off to a fast start in that start like he did tonight. Again, Alex pulls it on the ground to second base, and Franklin will throw him out again, 2 down. Walker retired the first 8 on Saturday at Houston, and tonight he retired 9 of the first 10. Mariners' first-round pick, a sandwich pick in between the first and second round in 2010, and the very next year he was the Mariners' minor league pitcher of the year. Had about 40 tickets on the pass list for family and friends on Saturday at Houston.
That's why Major League Baseball scouts are scouring the land, not just America, but all over the world, looking for talent like this kid. Can really turn your team around, especially a pitcher like him. 21 years old, 6'5", 215. That's exactly what they look for. Good athlete. Comparable to Doc Gooden, they say. It's quite a compliment. A young Doc Gooden was really, really tough.
That was Doc Gooden at his best. Normally when you say he's like a young so-and-so, that's saying before he really developed, but the young Doc Gooden was the best Doc Gooden.
Ooh, we hadn't seen some of the stuff that he had. I've never seen it before. Faced Doc Gooden in the AAA World Series when I was with the Columbus Clippers back in 1983. And he pitched for Davey Johnson, the Tidewater Mets, and they called him up, and the lights were kind of dim in Columbus, and you could barely see the ball. And his curve ball was off the table and hard. And we were like, oh, where'd this kid come from? Oh! He almost snuck it down that line there. But, you know, in baseball, you're compared to a lot of different players from different eras.
So who are you compared to? Rex Hudler is like a young...
Nah, I couldn't even. I couldn't.
Frankenstein. No.
Yeah.
Come on.
There's no. I never heard anybody that wasn't that good. Heck, you got to be a good player to be compared to somebody, Doc.
Look at his ultimate internet pitch range from 97 to 72. Presented by Time Warner Cable. You can get downloads up to 50 megabits per second with Time Warner Cable Ultimate Internet. You weren't compared to anybody?
Not that I can remember. I never had anyone ever come up to me and say, "You remind me of this guy."
Well, now that I think about it, I guess that makes some sense.
Man, that ball was hit hard.
Caught by Ackley in center field. So Walker has a 1-2-3 inning. Tied at 4 at the end of 5. Baseball is brought to you by Panera Bread. Try pasta the Panera way. Live consciously, eat deliciously. By Ford. See the new F-150 at your Midwest Ford dealer today. and by ATT Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PICK-ATT. Rethink possible. Francisco Bueno stays on for the 6th inning in a 4-4 tie. He got the final out of the 5th. The Royals have already used 3 pitchers. Irvin Santana went just 3 1/3, giving up all 4 of the Seattle runs, but the Royals picked him up with a 4-run 5th inning. Wade Davis went an inning and a third, and now Bueno. Hosmer backs up, going to be a close play at first, and Ackley is safe.
That's an infield single. The minute Hosmer backed up, I knew there was going to be problems because Ackley runs well. He's on the left side of the box, and most left-handed pitchers fall off to the third base side. Couldn't beat him there.
So that was not because of Bueno getting a late break off the mound.
No, nothing Bueno did wrong there. If anything, Hosmer would probably say, you know what, I probably should have went and got that. But, you know, he's excellent at reads, so I'm not going to question Hosmer, but that's an interesting play there. That break off the mound is really important. And when you're falling to the third base side and you got a guy from the left-handed batter's box that can run, yeah, it's going to be a tough chance. Unless you're a speedy pitcher.
Mike Zunino has been on base twice. Singled and scored in the 3rd inning and then walked in the 4th. And he is showing bunt and takes a strike.
Want to impress the manager and you get the bunt sign, get it down.
That didn't look like a guy who was going to bunt, though.
No, he
looked
was
like
bluffing.
a guy who was showing bunt.
Yeah, he was.
Just
It did
give away a strike.
It did. Because if you're going to bunt, you're going to bunt the first pitch. Get it over with.
Oh, and 2 on Zunino. First round pick of the Mariners just last year. And to the University of Florida.
It's amazing how the game changes over the years. Lots of times teams wanted to keep you in the minor leagues so you could learn how to play professional baseball. But now they rush them right up here. If they have any kind of talent at all, they want to see what they can do at this level. So that puts a lot of pressure on coaching and teaching. The emphasis on, developing these guys at the big league level. When before you had to play, 3, 4, 5 years in the minors before you could get up. Not in all cases, but for the majority of the guys.
On the ground to Moustakas. Backhands. Didn't get the grip he wanted right away and throws it in the dirt. And Ackley is safe at second base. 2 on, nobody out.
Okay, Moose made the right decision. He came and got it. That's the only way you can make a play and get 2 out of it. And Bonifacio, he had a hard time with his short hop. And Moose couldn't get the grip the first time around, so he forced it. Bonifacio, he'll probably tell you that I clanked that. I probably could have picked that. You can see Moose not able to find the handle.
It is an error on Moustakas. And now the number 9 hitter, Nick Franklin, who hasn't looked like a number 9 hitter tonight. He has doubled and scored, and he's driven in a run with a single. He's a switch hitter. Royals are expecting a bunt, and Perez thought about throwing down to second base. Ball 1.
And Moose, he's really shored up his defense. I mean, that's just his second error now in the last 30 games, dating back to July 25th. That's a rare error for Moose.
And bunting to Bueno, who will go to third. So that'll make Moustakas feel a little better as he gives Bueno a high five, and the Royals get the lead runner.
And for Nick Franklin, that's no bueno. Got to get that ball down the line. To a left-handed pitcher, like I said before, that falls off to the third base side, that's an easy out to force him at third. Okay, now Moose is saying to roll one up here. Give us a little ground ball.
Too low, ball one. Miller hit a sac fly to center field in the third inning. 3 RBIs for him in the series. He would be the Mark Burley equivalent of a hitter. I mean, he doesn't get out of the box in between pitches. He's ready to go. Little kick of the dirt. Now that time he stepped out for the pitch inside. Holds the bat up. Interesting with his top hand. He holds the bat with that hand first before putting the bottom hand on.
Yeah, that's a little different.
One and two.
So you could see Bueno on that time. When that ball was hit to the right side there, he really spun off to get over to first base. He doesn't want anything to jeopardize loading him up here. He's got to make sure he gets an out.
Two and two. Chop to the right side, and Bonifacio cuts in front of Hosmer and gets it to Bueno in time.
Okay, Eric Hosmer is very aggressive. He likes to go get everything to his right. Bueno took it, and what that is just going to take some time for these guys to work together there. You know, Bonifacio, he's the most recent second baseman, but he went and got that, and it was a good thing. I don't know if Hosmer would have been able to catch it and get it to Bueno. But that out is big.
So Ned Yost will take full advantage of the stacked bullpen and will go to his fourth pitcher tonight, Kelvin Herrera, with 2 on and 2 out in the 6th inning and a 4-4 tie. Gets the final out of the 5th, 2 outs in the 6th. And now he departs. Kelvin Herrera takes over. Runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 down. Herrera pitched a 1/3 of an inning last night. .98 miles an hour in for a strike to Gutierrez.
Okay, Herrera, powerful fastball, excellent changeup, breaking ball. Let's see how he can command it in a situation where he needs to. He needs a big strikeout. He can do it. Got the pitches.
Have a tough time with that pitch, 0-2.
In 53 innings pitched this year, 66 strikeouts by Herrera. So he's definitely got that good four-seam 99-mile-an-hour fastball. You're not touching it there.
Grounded to short. Escobar has it. And Herrera does the job as the Mariners leave 2 in scoring position. Royals 4, Mariners 4. Sonic slam inning as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Eric Hosmer will lead off. He has 15 home runs this year. Billy Butler with 14, Mike Moustakas with 10. Coming up, our contestant is Chad Estep from Savannah, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Chad wins $900. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Chad wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. And the Royals will be facing a new pitcher, right-hander Carter Capps. So Taijuan Walker, Mariners 2011 minor league pitcher of the year, gives way to the 2012 minor league pitcher of the year. And another high round pick, Carter Capps, drafted just a couple of years ago out of Mount Olive College in North Carolina.
How about that? I'll bet Greg Holland knows where that is. And look at that, some more fuzz for the guys. He's got 97, and it with a funky delivery. Hard slider. He's got a changeup. He'll use it to lefties.
Well, he's firm, isn't he?
Talk about that. That guy's a short armor. That's what they call a short arm. Doesn't have a long stroke, comes right up, kind of shot puts it in there, but it's a funky release. Holland might know where this kid went to school.
Well, you ready for the short arm explanation? Started his college career as a catcher.
There you go. That explains it. Little pause down low, and then all of a sudden, here it comes. Right over the top.
Leadoff walk. So all that heat, but couldn't get it in the strike zone. Hosmer's on for a second time.
And his 4th walk in 2 games. And a little emotion, a little bit of a body language exhibition there by Caps. He wasn't happy with that leadoff walk.
Billy was in the middle of the 4-run 4th inning. He drove in a run, and he scored a run. So Royals were down 4-0 when they batted in the bottom of the 4th and tied it. So Caps goes with a slider for strike 1.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. See if you can get your slider over.
Hosmer will run. He has 10 stolen bases. That's the most stolen bases for any American League first baseman. And only Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks has more stolen bases among Major League first basemen. He has 13. Hosmer had 16 stolen bases last year.
You know, the way he gets that walk and lead, I bet Rusty Kuntz could teach him that delayed steal. Because that's a good weapon. When you don't make that initial break like you're stealing, you can catch a catcher or an infielder napping. Ooh, man, Billy, you got to lay off of that one.
Nate Bukaty asked Ned Yost about that before the game tonight, about Emilio Bonifacio's use of the delayed steal. He's done it about 3 times since joining the Royals, and that is a style of stealing you hardly even see today. And Ned explaining that it used to be customary to use that against left-hand pitching, especially the lefties that would hang their leg in the air and try and bait the runner at first to take off. Well, if the runner didn't get a good secondary lead, he could turn that into a delayed steal.
Yep.
Still 0-2 on Billy.
The importance of the delayed steal is the 3 crow hops. That's the whole deception of the attempt. It's the 1, 2, 3, and by that time the catcher's caught the ball and he's about ready to throw it back to the pitcher. That's how it's designed to work. And even if you have really good speed, still catches him off guard.
And a slider strikes out Billy. 1 down in the 6th. Let's go to Joel.
Ryan, you know, we have been seeing that delayed steal, and the one common element, and talked to Rusty Kuntz about it back in Toronto, is it has happened with Bonifacio and a left-handed hitter, which shields that catcher a little bit. And we have seen the other thing that Rusty said was there's got to be a comfort level with that base stealer. He's got to be able to sell it with that crow hop, like Rex was saying, that's got to be a secondary lead leading into it as to disguise it for when it happens. And so there's a comfort level. The situation has also been right for Emilio when he's been up there.
And so what an organization does, if they want to make that an important play in their playbook, let's watch Bonifacio. See him, 1, 2, 3, and he took off, and we saw the catcher, Zunino, watch him put his head down just for a second. See, he's looking at the ball. Now he's about ready to throw it back to the catcher. He goes, oh, or he's about ready to throw it back to the pitcher, but he surprised him. So whether you surprise the catcher or a middle infielder, just get into second base. But you can go to spring training and practice that.
0-2 on Moustakas. And, you know, going situation by situation, too, you want to find infielders that will put their heads down after pitches, right? Maybe turn their back to home plate. Catchers like Zunino, you just showed there. Now that one, he was trying to hold it out and give the home plate umpire a long look. He was trying to frame that pitch, but
his eyes went down.
Try and get infielders or a catcher that put their guard down just for a second.
It's perfect. That's all it takes. But you know what I'm saying about spring training is when you get all your guys out there and you get them doing that, and you get them comfortable with it. See, here's his eye. See how he surprised him?
And then he doesn't have his legs under him for the throw.
And he bounced it. You get guys comfortable with that, and then you never know. A Salvador Perez could do it. Some other guys could put that into their. And then what happens is you get a reputation around the league of delay stealing, and that goes in the meetings. And then so a middle infielder would always look at his catcher and say, hey, look, watch out for the delay steal. And they do 3 chops. We used to do that. Watch out, he'll delay steal. You had to get the catcher's attention.
Fouled back and out of play. And that's fine, too, if it's your reputation and they cover it in the meetings, because you're giving Mike Zunino one more thing to think about.
That's right.
Right? I mean, he has to fan out all the things that he's thinking. That fan gets even wider. Oh, yeah, this guy likes to delay steal. Okay, now what's the pitch going to be? What, right? I mean,
be
just
careful.
one more thing in his head.
You got that right, and that's what speed does.
Moustakas lines it to right field. He got a hanging slider and hit it hard. That's his second hard hit out tonight. He is 0 for 3 and now 2 outs.
Okay, just got the top half of the ball. If Moose gets the back underside of that baseball, that ball is out of here. Difference of about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. That's all it is. Right on it. But obviously, the Kansas City Royals have opened eyes this year with their pitching. Okay, their bullpen and their starting rotation has been fantastic. But that base running has put a fear into defenses of teams that come in here. Now on Friday when Jim Leland's team comes in here, the Detroit Tigers, he's well schooled on the Royals and his eyes will be peeled open, wide open. Jim Leland. He knows exactly what they're getting into. A team that's aggressive, that can hurt you on the bases and with their defense. It's a great trait to have.
Sal walked first time up, and he also has a sac fly.
What a pickup there. Bonifacio.
Two and one. Hosmer opened the inning with a walk. Caps has retired Butler and Moustakas. On the ground to short. And Miller gets it to Franklin, and that ends the inning. 6 innings in the books. Royals 4, Mariners 4. Thoroughbred Ford. For the best deals on new Ford cars and trucks, visit thoroughbredford.com. 4-4 tie as we go to the 7th inning. And time for our AT trivia question. It's been the kiddie version lately. So we'll see how we do tonight.
All right. Well, now, anything's
Who are
possible.
The 5 active players that played for the 2003 Royals. That's a good one.
Okay, one's in the house. We know Ibanez has got to be, huh?
Yep. Now, I've been asked not to help you on this one.
Really?
But it's going to take me a while. I thought of a second one.
How
Tim
about-
Collins is the 5th Royals pitcher.
How about the right fielder for the Cardinals?
That was the other one I was thinking of, Carlos Beltran.
Active. 03. That's 10 years ago.
Good job, Hud.
Thank you. I can do those numbers.
Fouled away by Seager, who has singled, walked, and grounded to short. Tim Collins pitched a scoreless inning last night. Got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning, along with a strikeout, and the first out of the 8th. Got to think about that team.
Okay. How about the center fielder?
That would be the
Speed
Cardinals'
guy.
right fielder.
Nope.
Oh, it wasn't? My bad.
How about De Jesus? Didn't he play center field?
He came up at the end of 04. One and two. He may have come up at the end of 03, but 04 is when he took over when Beltran was traded. But Carlos Beltran was the center fielder of that team. Although I do recall Beltran was injured early in the year when the Royals had that 9-0 run. I want to say that he was on the disabled list. 2-2.
It's got to be a pitcher. How about Affel?
Nice. Jeremy Affel.
Giants. He's done well there, too. A couple World Series rings. He's a rock star.
3-2 on Seager. You have a pretty good memory of the 2003 Royals.
Well, you know, we played a lot. You know, we played the Royals. When I was broadcasting with the Angels, we came in, saw you guys at our place, their place. And they were good that year in 03. That was Pena's team, right?
Yes, it was the We Believe team. The Royals had some wild wins early in the season, and after a walk-off win and a big celebration at the plate, we caught the audio of Tony Pena in the middle of the celebration saying, "We believe." Well, that became the motto of the team from that point on.
That's awesome, though, man. You know, catch that in a bottle. That's beautiful. Didn't last long, did it? What kind of year in 04 was it?
Let's talk more about the 03 season,
Okay.
shall we?
There you go.
04 did not go as planned.
Be careful with Seager here. Oof.
Pretty good swing, but
Sure
fouled it
was.
back, still 3-2.
This guy's dangerous. I'm not going to throw him at that big curveball 3-2 here, because if you hang it, you know, he can do something with it. Straight change, maybe. Collins has 3 good pitches. And in his career, Seager's 1 for 4. A couple strikeouts against Collins.
Another foul ball.
That's a straight change there. It's elevated. Got to keep her down.
Broken bat.
That's right. Take care of that wood and make him get another one here. So he's really on Collins' pitches.
Line to left field, and Alex is there, turning away from the lights. So a 10-pitch battle, and Collins gets the out.
Ooh, man, he made him work. Gordon staying with it. Big help. Right-hander Morales hitting .274. 4 homers.
Oh, and 2.
Ryan, before this game gets really interesting, we'd like to give a special birthday wish to Mr. Jewel Rourke. He's 90 years old, and he's a big fan of yours and the Kansas City Royals. Happy birthday, Mr. Rourke.
Happy birthday, Jewel.
Glad you're listening. We hope tonight brings another Royals victory for you.
Strikeout for Collins, 2 down in the 7th. That is the first strikeout tonight for a Royals pitcher, and it comes with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
And that's highly unusual. Royals have a lot of strikeout ability, but Seattle's playing them tough tonight.
So Raul Ibanez, he's had a good night, 2 doubles, and one of those doubles has turned into a run. Well, we've established that Raul Ibanez is one of the answers to our trivia question tonight. 5 active players from the 2003 team. Here's a trivia question for you inside the trivia question. Okay. Raul Ibanez was drafted as a
catcher.
Yes. Hosmer will take it himself, so Collins out of the bullpen and gets the Mariners in order. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium in a 4-4 tie.
Happy 90th, Mr. Rourke.
Montgomery as we begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Mariners with the first 4 runs, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. The Royals got all 4 of their runs in the 4th inning. Butler, Perez, and Dyson drove in the runs. Irvin Santana, shortest outing of the season, 3 1/3 innings, but the offense and the bullpen have both picked him up.
Yeah, and you know what, Irvin, you've been outstanding, so don't you dare sweat that at all, man. Hey, your offense came and picked you up, and that's exactly what you want. Now it's a new game, tie game. This kid, Litke, is coming in. They got to figure out a way to get some guys on. They're at the bottom of the order, which really is not a bad thing because you got speed down there. You got Lowe, Dyson, and Escobar to face this young man who's got an 88 to 94 mile an hour fastball slider. He tries to sink it.
A lot of base runners, a whip, walks and hits per innings pitched, 1.7 per inning. Michael Saunders is now in left field, replacing Raul Ibanez. And David Lowe will lead off, and he will bunt, but he didn't quite get it past the mound. And Litke, with a low throw, throws him out. So David is 1 for 3. All right, let's work on this trivia question here. There are 5 members of that 2003 Royals team, which HUD reminded us was 10 years ago, that are still active today. You have come up with Raul Ibanez.
Okay.
Carlos Beltran, who was the Royals center fielder that year. However, I thought maybe DeJesus came up at the end of 03. He did. He played 12 games at the very end of that 03 season.
Ding, ding, ding.
Jeremy Offelt.
Okay.
And there's one more.
Okay, so let's figure it out. Don't put the answer up yet. Is he a position?
I will be extremely impressed if you get this one.
Is he a position player or a pitcher?
He is a position player. No, he's a pitcher, excuse me. And he was a relief pitcher, I believe, that year for the Royals.
Okay, can you help me with a team?
He recently made a start for the Tampa Bay Rays, I believe. And I want to say that you commented on that when Joel went through the scoreboard, that this guy was still pitching. Been with a lot of teams. And by the way, I didn't remember this one. I looked it up. Came up through the Rockies organization.
There you go. Jeremy Wright? Jamie Wright?
His brother Jamie.
Jamie Wright.
Jamie Wright.
Ding, ding, ding,
That
ding.
away, Al.
Rockies is who I remember him with.
Seager.
Oh, man.
And throws out Dyson with a nice play. Gerard is 1 for 3.
Pretty nice spin move there.
I think DeJesus to me was the trick question. Now, Jamie Wright required some research, but you did very well. You got Ibanez, you got Beltran, you got Jeremy Offelt.
I think Al got his fangs out on me because I challenged him, said we're going to get you all week. He's got Friday left. That's it. Of course, it'll be Tiger related.
Of course.
Probably.
I can tell you a story about DeJesus. He made his major league debut that year in Texas. Now, from a distance, and you know, Texas, the outfield can be kind of dark because it's such a big stadium and the lights are so high. Late in the game, he came on as a defensive replacement for Carlos Beltran to make his major league debut. Nobody noticed. It wasn't announced. The official score didn't see it. And so here his childhood dream comes true, and he's expecting to go back to the clubhouse after the game and have a million text messages from everybody saying, hey, congratulations. None. So he opens up the newspaper the next day to see his name in his first big league box score.
Right.
It wasn't in there.
Oh.
We all missed it. And then finally, the Royals had to tell the Rangers official score that, oh, by the way, David DeJesus appeared defensively late in the game last night.
Oh, that's horrible.
Now, Beltran threw right-handed and DeJesus threw left-handed. So, I mean, it must have been one of those games where you didn't expect a defensive replacement, but that was his Royals debut at the end of the 2003 season.
What a letdown.
Right to the second baseman, Franklin. Royals are down quietly in the 7th. So maybe we didn't remember his big league debut, but David had a great career with the Royals 3 years ago. How about this? An inside the park home run.
There he goes, Sammy.
Royals baseball is brought to you by Ram Trucks. Talking about former Royals tonight, there's Joey Gathright applauding the kiss cam.
He's got him a baseball.
One of the fastest Royals. He played for the T-Bones this summer, is that right? Yeah. So that's why he's in town. Stuck around town for a while. Donnie Joseph making his 4th Major League appearance. He was among the September call-ups. Now, I was home right before the All-Star break. Our son Lucas was born. And because of that, I watched very little baseball. But there was one night we were in the hospital and everybody was sleeping, so I turned on the TV to see how the Royals were doing and listen to you guys for an inning or so. And it happened to be the night that Donnie Joseph pitched in front of his mom. Now, he made his big league debut, I want to say, at Yankee Stadium in the final game of that series. But I think the Cleveland series was the first night that his parents got to see him in person. And his mom was just living and dying with every pitch.
Yeah, I remember that too. It was hysterical. I mean, she was like angry, borderline angry. It was ball 4 on that one.
Well, we're going to have to figure something out here, because either Donnie Joseph is going to have a very short Major League career for the health benefit of his mother, or we hope he has a long Major League career and his mom's going to have to figure something out.
Yeah, she'll mellow over time. But this kid, he's got a really nice slider. I mean, we saw Will Smith's slider a couple nights ago, and it was fantastic. His curveball combination there was almost unhittable. They couldn't touch it. This kid, he's got some electricity too. Biggest thing for him is to be able to command it. Keep it down. Send a fastball once in a while, keep him honest.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Justin Smoke.
That ball deflected off of Salvi's right arm, his forearm. You know, I was talking with the Seattle Mariners broadcasters, good guys, been around a long time, and I was bragging on Eric Hosmer, like I like to do, and about his glove work, and saying how I think that he has a pretty good chance to get a Gold Glove. And they brought up Smoke's name. They said, hey, if this guy hit a little bit more, ooh.
Alex into the corner, but it's over his head and up against the screen. And Smoke is going to try for two. He better hurry, and he's in there with a double. So even on a tough play, Alex makes it close. And the Mariners, just like the Royals, stacked on the bench. They will remove Justin Smoke in the 8th inning for a pinch runner.
Anyway, they like his defense. It's Amonte. Look at it. Sliders down. Right-hander sometimes will drop the head of that bat right down there on it. Just an easy swing and the ball will jump. And I thought it had a chance to get out of here, but certainly Alex Gordon, if it's close, he'll catch it, but couldn't get that one.
And a strike to Dustin Ackley. Ackley is 1 for 3. He scored a run in Seattle's 2-run 4th inning. His base hit in the 6th snapped a personal 0 for 13. Good slider, 0-2. Donnie Joseph is from the Reds organization, and the Royals got him last year in the trade that sent Jonathan Broxton to Cincinnati. And he did make his big league debut at Yankee Stadium on July the 11th. 3 pitches. Ackley doesn't get the bat off of his shoulder with a runner in scoring position. 1 down.
Oh, yeah. See, now Salvador Perez, he's positioned on the outside part of the plate. But that ball, just because he had to reach back for it, doesn't mean it wasn't a strike. It went right over the inside part of the plate. Ned's coming. Love the arms that he's bringing out of his bullpen now. Whoa.
Luke Hochevar put a fire out in the 8th inning last night. We'll try to do the same here with a runner at second, 1 out, in a tie game in the 8th. In the 8th inning.
Calling on all arms, whatever it takes, get the win and the series tonight. Got to have a timely hit, but before that, Pochi's got to put out this little minor fire. If he throws anything like he did last night, he shouldn't have any issues. 96, 2-seam sinker that's nasty in on righties. Cutters away, sliders away, and a big curveball to finish guys.
First pitch swinging, and Zunino hits it over the Royals dugout. So this is a repeat of last night. Hochevar comes on to face Zunino. struck him out last night with a fastball and then got Andy Chavez on a fly out to center. That was with runners at second and third with one out. Tonight, a runner at second, one out, and facing Zunino again. High fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-2. Here's last night.
That's the pitch there that I'm sure going to give nightmares to some of those guys, because that is a really difficult pitch. Running hard, starts on the outside of the plate and comes in on righties. Nasty.
Two down. So Zunino is still trying to figure out Luke Hochevar.
When you got east and west in your movement and a little bit of south there as that ball dipped down, you're tough, especially with the way that ball moves right when it gets into the hitting zone.
And now Nick Franklin has had a good night. 2 hits, a run scored, and an RBI.
Excellent outfield arms. Wade Almonte, the pinch runner at second base, if they do get a hit. Alex, best in the league, hands down. 14 outfield assists. Dyson's got 4, and David Lowe's got 6. And right. Alex, if you could read his mind right now, he's saying, hit it to me. I want it. And that's what you want your fielders to say. Confidence.
1-1. Mariners scored 2 in the third, 2 more in the fourth for a 4-0 lead. The Royals got all 4 of theirs in the bottom of the fourth. Pinch runner Abraham Almonte at second base. Running for Justin Smoke, who opened the inning with a double. And then back-to-back strikeouts. Donnie Joseph got Dustin Ackley, and then Hochevar struck out Zunino.
There's another guy with the double ear flap helmet.
1-2. 97.
I think Hoch likes his role. Now, I haven't talked to him about his future and really don't want to mess with the guys too much right now. Ask him about, hey, would you like to get back in the rotation? No. This is all about what's happening right now for these Royals. And right now, Hochevar has elevated himself into a premium position in that bullpen. Probably something he didn't envision early in the season.
Through Perez, and Almonte rounded third. He would have been out by a mile, but he was at least thinking about it when it got away from Perez.
Love that effort, though. Only one guy I ever saw score a run from second base on a pass ball.
Kenny Lofton?
In Dodger Stadium before they moved the backstop up closer. Had this kind of action, and when he rounded third, he kept coming, and the Dodger Stadium crowd went crazy. I'm in the dugout with the Expos over there, and I was going crazy too. And it was the game-winning run. It was a very exciting play. Haven't been around too many plays like that.
Just missed. 98. And now 3-2.
That player's name for the Dodgers that night, or that it was a day game, that's off the plate. Kirk Gibson. Scored a winning run from second base on a pitch back to the backstop. Hoch, he's got plenty in that gas tank. Challenge him here. Yeah.
Got him looking. Unhittable. Franklin can't be too upset with himself. That is big league stuff.
Woo, I'll say, Papa Hoach, 2 nights in a row. Show them youngins what you got.
For Detroit. What happened? It was 4-4, and Boston exploded. 8 home runs. Cleveland beats Baltimore for a second straight game. Oakland, we told you about blasting Texas. So a chance for the Royals to pick up a game on Baltimore. Houston won better than Minnesota. New York topped Chicago, winning again. And the Tampa Bay Rays up early on. As for that Mazda game break, grand slam by Will Middlebrooks. And guys, that is the most home runs tied ever for the Boston Red Sox, 1977, and the most ever allowed in Detroit's long history. Homers from Drew, Ellsbury, 2 from Ortiz, Middlebrooks, Nava, Lavarnway, and Mike Napoli. So, wow, that was the deal there. And one other update for you guys. We just showed Carlos Pena, who spent 5 games with the Omaha Storm Chasers. Said it was the first time that he had been in Omaha since playing against them back in 2001. While his Storm Chasers are up 3-1 in the 9th inning. Christian Colon, a couple of RBIs. And, you know, the longtime veteran Pena telling Monty and I on Hy-Vee Royals Live today, happy to be here, do whatever role needed. Would have been happy to stay there and help them win a championship. So, good team player.
All right, Joel. There's a soft liner, and Alex's bat goes flying everywhere. It broke into 7 pieces, and then he just chucked the handle as he was running up the line. So out against Lucas Litke, 1 down in the 8th.
Yep, off the end, it does that. He's a little frustrated. Well, I'm sorry to laugh, Alex. That's not nice.
And now Bonifacio thinking about dropping down a bunt. He got that 4-run rally started in the 4th against Taijuan Walker. Reached on a 4-pitch walk. Scored on Billy Butler's single. Later in the inning, Perez hit a sac fly. Dyson with a 2-out, 2-run single to tie the game. And that's the last inning anybody has scored. 1-1 on Bonifacio. On the topic of Carlos Pena, our Sprint Unlimited Answers poll for tonight, we asked you which call-up among position players will help the most. 58% go with Carlos Pena.
I agree with him. I think, he has a chance to pinch hit, play first base, make some plays.
Franklin backhands, throws. Good throw. Tough play with Bonifacio's speed, but his arm strength threw him out. 2 down.
Yeah, it's a tough play. Made it look easy. Good release.
Well, the Smash Hit Facebook game that puts you in the owner's suite is now available on iPhone and iPad. Choose your favorite Major League team, build your stadium, staff the front office, sell concessions, sign players, and more as you guide your team to the World Series. Download MLB Ballpark Empire. That's free today. Data and usage rates may apply. Eric Hosmer has been on twice. He singled and scored in that 4-run 4th inning. He's also walked as Litke misses down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Okay, Litke, big sliders to lefties. That's what Hosmer's going to see. Talked about him hitting .326 against lefties. That's the highest average against lefties on the team.
Oh! High and deep, right field. And Gutierrez at the track. Just missed it. Just missed it. So we head to the 9th, still a 4-4 tie. Going into the 9th inning, but just missed a home run to deep right center field. Vote for the Royals Player of the Month, sponsored by Majestic and Rally House. Vote at Rally House stores and get a chance to go on field and meet the winning player. So to the 9th in a 4-4 tie, and this is the Royals' 8th pitcher, Aaron Crow. Santana went 3 1/3, gave up 4 runs. Then Davis, an inning and a third. Bueno, 1 inning. Herrera, a third of an inning. Collins, 1 inning. Joseph, 1/3 of an inning. And Hochevar, 2/3 of an inning.
Holland was up, and that was in case Hosmer would have hit that homer. He would have came in for his 4th consecutive night. Now, I think it's good that, and we're not going to see him. He needs to take a chill pill. Wait for tomorrow. Day game.
No TV tomorrow. One and one on Brad Miller. He is 0 for 3. He did drive in a run with a sac fly back in the 3rd inning. Miller, Gutierrez, and Seager, top of the order for the Mariners. Big item for them has been the big item in this entire series, and that is hitting with runners in scoring position, or the lack of hitting with runners in scoring position. They are 2 out of 12 tonight, and in the series 3 out of 32.
Not going to win a lot of games when you're not getting clutch hits.
Grounded to Hosmer, and he points to Crow as if to say, I've got it, and he does. 1 down. And now Crow gets Franklin Gutierrez. That's an important bounce back game for Crow.
It is.
Game on Saturday in Toronto.
The 31st, yeah. That's had a couple walks there. Weren't timely. He walk in 1 run or 2 runs?
2. Royals felt like, and they had a good case, that he was being squeezed. But when the prior pitches missed the strike zone by a wide margin, it's tough to get the borderline call.
Yeah, umpires usually don't go that way. I remember we weren't televising that game, but I was watching. I wasn't sure, but he was a little bit leery of throwing that ball down the middle. But right here, this is what matters.
1-2 on Gutierrez. He has driven in one of the 4 Seattle runs. Two and 2. And now full count with Seager on deck. In addition to the trouble with hitting with runners in scoring position, and it goes hand in hand with runners left on base. Mariners have left 25 runners on base in the series, and now Gutierrez is on with 1 out. Kyle Seager. He has 6 hits in the 3 games. He had a 2-run home run late in the game last night. 1 for 3 tonight, and one of those outs was a line out to left field. So he's had good swings just about every time he's come to the plate.
Yeah, this is the guy that can hurt you. Because there's usually 1 or 2 guys on every team. Be careful here. That ball is down the middle, but you know you got to throw strikes too. This is the 8th Royals pitcher tonight?
Number 8.
Wow. Go through him.
Off the end of the bat, and Dyson will make the play in right center field. 2 down. Gutierrez is back to first. And the bottom of the 9th, Billy Butler, Mike Moustakas, and Salvador Perez. Aaron Crow now has to get through Kendrys Morales. Hitless in his last 3 at-bats. He had a double in the first inning. Another Mariners hitter with 10 or more home runs. We've been telling you about how they've improved in that category. They were the first team this year to have 8 players with 10 or more home runs, and he was one of the guys Seattle went out and got during the past offseason.
Yeah, but Angels couldn't have used him either this year.
Boy, if they could have a mulligan, you think the Angels would like to have Urban Santana, Torrey Hunter, and Kendrys Morales back?
all of those guys have shined.
And those 3 guys would have cost a little more than Josh Hamilton.
Right. Wow. Look at the moving parts at the plate.
Got the call, 1-2.
Morales, you talk about how it's hard to hit from being just stand still. You got to have some rhythm and movement. This guy moves his legs and his upper body. Fans looking for the strikeout here.
Hit well to center field. Dyson turns his back. Dyson to the wall.
Oh.
And Kendrys Morales hits a home run to straightaway center field. And Seattle has taken a 6-4 lead in the 9th inning.
Dangerous. A hitter. Look at this. I mean, this guy, he's a beast. No batting gloves, just loves to hit. And he hopped, and that told him that he got all that ball. See his little hop right there? Hitters will have a, and they don't do it on purpose either. It's a natural hop. Whenever you square a ball up like that, and watching Dyson turn and run, I'm thinking, no, don't go over the fence. Oof.
So Saunders with 2 outs, nobody on. And Alex brings it down for the out. So the Royals down by 2. They've been down by 4 tonight. Butler, Moustakas, and Perez all coming up. .6-4 after the Kendrys Morales home run. 11 out of 14 in save opportunities. Tom Wilhelmsen started the year as the Mariners closer, and when he struggled, the Mariners sent him down to the minor leagues to work as a starter. So they gave Farquhar the opportunity. He has blown 3 saves. Pretty high ERA, almost 4.5 in his 46 and a third innings. But how about 17 walks against 71 strikeouts?
Yeah, now he's given up 2 home runs, 1 to a righty, 1 to a lefty.
Subway box score, the Royals have just 4 hits. They have used 8 pitchers. The Mariners have used just 4 pitchers. And the Royals are without a hit since their 4-run 4th inning. They've only had 1 base runner since that inning that tied the game. So Butler, Moustakas, and Perez.
Billy gets on, I'm sure Ned will have a pinch runner for him all ready to go. Farquhar, 5'10", 180 pounds. Kind of has a little three-quarter sidearm delivery. He'll go up to mid-90s, though, with that pitch. That's that running in. Fastball. Slider, cutter, pretty good curve.
And the Royals, who have seen him before, weren't with the Royals until later this year. Jamie Carroll and Justin Maxwell. Billy skies it to center field. Almonte is out there now, and he will make the play. Billy is 1 for 4. Farquhar came over from the Yankees last year in the trade that sent icon Ichiro Suzuki to New York. Guy who bounced around quite a bit early in his career. He played in 5 organizations in his first 5 years of professional baseball. First signed by the Toronto Blue Jays. And Paul's got some bite to it.
Yeah, slider. He's got a little cutter, too. Sliders and cutters, one's a little bit deeper than the other as far as the break goes.
It's been a tough luck 0 for 3 for Moustakas. He's hit the ball hard twice to the right side, grounding out sharply to the first baseman Smoke. Ackley is now playing at first, and he's also lined out to right. This will be a routine fly ball to right, and Gutierrez is there for the second out. Sal in the middle of that 4-run 4th inning with a sac fly. And a slider's in for strike 1. Taijuan Walker went 5. He gave up all 4 runs. Carter Capps 1 inning. Lucas Litke 2 innings. And now Farquhar is 1 strike away from his 12th save. On the ground to short. Tough hop for Miller. And throws out Perez. And Seattle wins its first game of the series. So they had an early 4-0 lead. They saw that slip away in the 4th. But the Royals were without a hit after the 4th inning. And then Kendrys Morales with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning put the Mariners in front with our forward play of the game.
2 guys that could beat you in their lineup. Kyle Seager and Kendrys Morales. And Morales got him. A little hop. He knew it. Dead center field. And he unloaded for his 18th home run.